Well, self-confidence. I would love to be like that. Stand tall. Thank you. Let's see, the next is, we got Pete Forham. Did I pronounce it right? Yeah. Who says about saying no. It got easier to say no as I got older. Not sure why, but it does feel better than I thought it would. And Pete Forham will have the table topics today.
So in 1983, my girlfriend and I went to Montreal on vacation. This was going to be a special weekend. She didn't know it. I was going to ask her to marry me. Now, this is a good news and a bad news story, but I'm going to not keep you in suspense very long. So we went into the old city of Montreal, and we got a horse-drawn carriage, and I asked my wife to marry me, and she said yes. That's the good news. And we've married 35 years. The bad news is that the driver of the horse-drawn carriage, for no apparent reason, went into an anti-Semitic rant when we hadn't said anything, we hadn't done anything, we barely talked to him because I was totally focused on asking her to marry me and worried, wanted to make sure she was going to say yes. And this guy just went nuts on Jewish people. Now, we just ignored him because it was a special time and we didn't want to spoil it, and we just ignored him, but he went on, and to this day, I feel bad that I didn't say anything, that I didn't say no. So that leads me to the first question. Alex, what was the first time that you saw or heard hate speech of any kind? What did you do? Did you or anybody else say no? Do you wish you had done something different, like I did?
Appreciate that. It's good to be back. I should say I don't like holding the mic, so that's one thing that's a little bit awkward for me. And I want to try to avoid using filler words, so that may leave some moments of silence, which may be more awkward for me than for you. I think that the question is an important one. I'm going to start off by asking for a little bit more, ask you to be more liberal with me in this case of table topics, and offer a counterpoint to the topic today of saying no, where I think sometimes we want to say no, but we should also say yes. And I have had experiences where not saying no led me into a lot of trouble, where I overcommitted myself, and then that resulted in me disappointing other people because I was not able to meet those commitments. However, I can also think of some experiences where I was invited to do something and I wanted to say no, but it was something that I realized would actually be good for me, but I was scared to say yes. One such experience happened several years back. I was working, my previous company I worked with, and I was given an opportunity to speak at a professional society meeting. I wanted to say no. I said yes. It ended up being a really valuable experience for me. I can't think of any experiences off the top of my head with hate speech, especially when being put on the spot. But it is something I feel very strongly about, and I am an advocate for for loving others and acceptance and helping to create harmony. Thank you.
One more? Okay. So in addition to, over the last couple of years, we've heard a lot of hate speech, and we're also seeing a lot more hate crimes. And this has actually impacted my life. I don't know if you know, there were 2 fires set at synagogues in Arlington and Needham. We actually know the rabbis of both, and they're super nice people. And this has led to changes as a result of those fires. It was Rosh Hashanah the other day, and we were there in the synagogue, and at the synagogue we were at, which shall remain nameless, they have added 17 cameras. There was an armed guard, and we know that congregants were armed. Okay, so life has changed dramatically because of these hate crimes. Al, how have you seen these examples of hate crimes, around your life, and what changes has it resulted in that have impacted you in your world?
As a pretty waspy guy, hate crimes haven't affected me personally and directly, but they've certainly affected me in the effect that they've had on other people, on my friends, on people I feel close to people here. I do remember one event that happened, this was a long time ago. It's not a hate crime, but it's certainly an example of this hatred that is so often under the surface. I was selling at a flea market in Marin County, California, supposedly a very liberal place. I was trying to sell something for, I think it was about $100. And this guy said, the customer said, I'm going to Jew you down on this, which to me was a very offensive expression. And I told the guy, look, I've got relatives who died in the Holocaust. They'd be very upset to hear you talking like that. And he was absolutely set. He sat back in his haunches. He apologized so profusely. And ironically enough, years later, I took one of these 22 or 23andMe tests. I found out that I had Jewish heritage from Germany. And I may have had relatives who perished in the Holocaust. I don't know. But in that way, it definitely affected me.
Okay, let me hand it back to Ramiro.